Hello everyone, and you join us here today in the all-new 2026 Kia K4 Hatchback in the GT-Line Turbo trim. We've been driving this car over the course of the week, and fully loaded, this vehicle is just around $32,000, which is really impressive for the amount of features you're getting in here, from heated to cooled seats. We have a really nice sunroof over here with a power shade as well. Really comfortable sculpted seats here as well. These dual 12+ inch displays, paddle shifters, highway driving assist, drive modes, and 8-speed auto. This car is really nice, really impressive, and I like to see more affordable options here in the market in the United States. We have a really great 360 camera on this one as well that has so many different views, including that full 360 view, as you can see right there, which is nice. So that you can always play around with. We have parking sensors as well. Lots of physical buttons still, and some climate systems that are kind of weirdly integrated, but otherwise this is a pretty fun car. We have 190 horsepower, same around with torque, 1.6 liter turbo, so not incredibly powerful, but I think an adequate amount of power for a vehicle that weighs so light. Of course, we have wireless CarPlay in here as well, and let's go head off and drive. In typical Kia fashion, we do have our turn signal cameras here, which is wonderful to see. Auto brake hold as well is available by the touch of a button, and thankfully it stays in that place actually, which is really nice. We'll pop it into sport mode here for just a quick little initial spirited acceleration. Well, it may not be the quickest car in the planet, it's definitely got enough get up and go. Now, the interesting thing is kind of where this car sits throughout, its competition lineup here. I think some of its direct competitors are an interesting choice because they typically aren't turbocharged, and that includes things like the Mazda 3 hatchback, which can actually get all-wheel drive, and standard makes almost as much horsepower as this upgraded version of the K4. Same thing with the Subaru Impreza RS. That one, with its upgraded naturally aspirated 2.5 liter engine, makes almost around the same amount of horsepower again as this K4 hatchback. So interesting competitors. You also have things like a Honda Civic hatchback as well, Corolla Cross hatchback. This one falls in its own, I think, little space here. It has one of the more advanced interior options with these ambient lighting, these advanced tech and displays. We have digital key, cooled seats, and as we'll see when we get on the highway, it can even auto lane change from itself, which is nuts for something in this class. But otherwise, it's a really interesting value proposition. It kind of takes some of that sporty dynamics, things that you would more expect out of the Mazda 3 hatchback, while adding in that really Kia value nature package to it that we get in a lot of their newer vehicles. So interesting price point. I think it's really strong of a price point. It looks really great, but as we'll see in this driving impressions, I think they could have leaned a little bit more into the performance aspects of this car, even though it all handles and drives really overall generally quite well. Little tire chirps there. Other than that tire chirp we heard, this car has actually maintained really good traction over the course of this week. Again, no crazy power outputs as we play pothole dodge over here on these insane roads after a pretty rough winter. But overall, these tires have been really good at putting traction down this week. Only on some occasions when you're really on it on power. Going into a corner, you notice any tire chirps, but it's kind of a fun hot hatch-esque feeling here. Steering, pretty light overall, I would say. Not a lot of direct feel, though. It is overall feeling a pretty direct-ish steering response. It reminds me, I would say, the most is maybe, I think, the Subaru Impreza's steering. The Mazda steering, I think, still is a better experience. It's a little bit more weighted. It also, I think, provides a little more direct actual feedback from the wheels. This one, it's a little bit more muted and a little bit more softer, though pretty nice and direct. So it's nice what you would expect out of this class. Now, what this car does have that a Mazda 3 hatchback does not is a multi-link rear suspension. Now, you only get that on this vehicle when you go for either a GT Line or the GT Line Turbo trim, so that's something to keep in mind. But it does overall help to make for a pretty nice cohesive experience when you're going around a corner. All the wheels feel nice and planted. You don't feel any kind of weird hopping situations in the rear end as you do with such as like a torsion beam style suspension that the Mazda 3 uses, or the entry-level versions of this vehicle use. So that's a nice welcome thing to see here as well. And around town, it's really nice. And this is another great aspect of this car, is that it's really quiet in here. It's definitely quieter than, while it's a sedan, the Nissan Sentra, for example, and even the Subaru in that aspect. I think they've done a better job at the NVH in this Kia K4 than those vehicles. The 8-speed auto is great to have in this car, as well as, you know, with no CVT or IVT as Kia calls it. So we don't have that whining coming from the gearbox. So it's actually a much smoother overall, generally daily experience. And we don't have auto stop start in this car either. So there's a lot of good check marks for a lot of people, I think, in this vehicle. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're looking at a K4 hatchback. We have a configurable cluster here. We can change these circle or these kind of dynamic looking gauges here. A very minor amount of adjustments in the center, but what's really great as well is the fuel economy. I've consistently been getting north of 30 miles per gallon over quite a few different distances in this car, which is really nice to see, especially with the turbocharged engine. I got like 35 on like a 20-30 mile trip yesterday, which is really impressive at highway speeds. So I really like to see that here as well in this all-new K4. And everything's very tactile, easy to use, easy within reach. Some things I did notice this week, though, is we don't have an auto dimming rear view mirror. You do have a manual dimming function there. These side mirrors are actually a little funky in their shape, which I've noticed this week, which I wasn't expecting to be a thing, but something I will point out here. Hop it into sport mode one more time. Yeah, that's really nice. So sport mode definitely allows the engine to be in a power band much more often of the time than normal mode. There is no eco mode in this vehicle whatsoever, though. But I actually really like sport mode. It really does feel like the car can get up and go a lot quicker and easier as well. Visibility in here is also pretty good. You sit pretty high actually in this vehicle, and you can kind of have an overarching view of everything around you, which is nice. Let's head out onto the highway here. Pop back into sport mode for a second. Brakes, pretty soft pedal, but overall they work well. We do have upgraded 12-inch discs up front here. The 8-speed is nice to shift with these paddle shifters as well. It's generally pretty responsive, not quick, just responsive with the paddles and actually changing the gear inputs, but that's typical, I think, for this class. A nice get up and go there, but it looks like we're going straight into traffic, which is a good situation for us to test out our highway driving assist functions. Turn on our turn signals here. And to access our highway driving assist functions, really easy in this car. We use the left-hand side of our steering wheel here, and we just press on our cruise control. We'll pop it back into normal mode. And that's it, actually, since it's already set up. Now, I've noticed that the full highway driving assist really only works on major highways. I tried it on a smaller 2-lane highway. It actually didn't say the full HDA, it just did adaptive cruise control, which is totally fine. And we also have lane keep assist and lane centering with steering assist, so it will steer you around a curve. Yes, you do have to keep your hands on the wheel the whole time, but it does work pretty well and confidently. Kia, Hyundai, Genesis, these systems are really great. They've been great, and they continue to be great and offer a lot of value, again, for your money. And since this is highway driving assist 2.0, we have navigation assisted highway driving assist. We have a few different modes here. We can adjust our distance for our following distance there. And like I said, with this car, you have auto lane change. In a car in this class of vehicle, it's just pretty much unheard of. I literally do not think I could name another vehicle in this class that does an auto lane change on a highway, which is really cool, actually. So I could literally do this. You have to have your hands on the wheel, and if it sees that we can have a lane available to us, it will, oh my gosh, there you go. Now, it only did that because I did not have my hands on the wheel. So it's interesting. You have to have your hands at least touching the wheel for allow it to do an auto lane change, and it will do it. I didn't actually do the lane change there, but that's really cool to see on this car. Is it useful? It may not be for everyone, but I think it's a pretty nice test to see, actually, of this system here. So it is definitely very nice on a highway, and as I mentioned, it's quiet in here. You can close your sunshade above you for a little bit more additional quietness. It does actually add some sound dampening, but not too much road noise coming in here. There is some. It's not, you know, luxury car quiet, but for the class of this vehicle, this is actually very nice and quiet here. Now, as we are out here on the highway, we'll put our Harman Kardon audio system to the test. Let's have a quick little listen. We have a nice volume scroll knob up here as well as on our steering wheel. Okay, so that's nice to see. It looks like it maxes out at level 45 for our speaker system here, and overall pretty good. I actually think it could get a little louder, but it doesn't really sound too washed out. It sounds like a general typical Harman Kardon audio system, which is nice. Pretty good bass. I think it could be a little bit bassier, a little bit muddy in some areas, but overall pretty nice general premium audio system for this segment. I think the Bose premium audio system in the Mazdas does sound a little bit better though, since I've been able to kind of test a few vehicles in this class of car. But nonetheless, this car's been really fun over the course of this week. I think it drives really well. It handles generally pretty well. It looks cool and sharp and different. And I think for the money, you're getting quite a lot for your money. The same price in this class for a Mazda 3 hatchback, for example, is a mid-spec vehicle. It's not going to be, a fully loaded value package like this one you're getting, and you're not going to get all the same features. So that's definitely something to consider. Same thing with the Subaru. You're definitely not going to get as many of these nice, comfortable tech or luxury features. So all of that in this car is really adding up to be a really nice package. And as we end up this video here, we'll have a quick little run in sport mode. It can take a corner. I think Kia did a great job with this car. Things I would like to see, maybe a hybrid powertrain down the road. I think that'd be a really nice option to add in here. Maybe, ooh, wow, this thing pulls. For a 1.6 liter turbo 4-cylinder, this thing shockingly pulls in like fourth or fifth gear at higher RPMs. That's really nice to see in this vehicle. But I'd like to see either a hybrid powertrain, maybe an addition of all-wheel drive at some point, or an all-wheel drive. I think those would be really great additions to the K4 lineup, but I think Kia has a lot more room here in the K4's life to potentially add those such things. And as always, guys, thank you for joining us on yet another tour and review over at Allcarnews, and stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.